Welcome to Delightful! In the spirit of the season, I'll be opening up a special present with you guys. This is not a sponsored video, however the doll was sent to me compliments of Myou-Doll.com. Is it Mew or Immew? I'm not sure. Also, this was possible through my connection with the Junkyspot.com, another seller of ball-jointed dolls, so shout out to them as well. Myou is a very new seller of dolls, at least to my knowledge, and they have very recently put together their website even, so everything about this doll is brand new. Let's carefully cut this box open and see what we have. Another box! If you watch my other videos, you may know that I don't have ball-jointed dolls. I mostly work with toy store fashion dolls, with the exception of Freya and Freyr that were sent to me from the aforementioned Junkyspot.com. That said, this will be another honest first impression of seeing a legitimate ball-jointed doll for the first time. The box is way taller than my dolls, so I'm getting excited about the scale. Opening box number 2. Alright, looks like there are some fancy cards and pamphlets describing the doll. This is a card with a number on it, so I assume that's some kind of collector's dealio. We also have some guidelines about caring for the doll. What's this? Let's see, this is the face mask, meant to protect the doll for storage or transit, I suppose. And the eyes, as well as the eye putty, which totally looks like spearmint gum. I got a random set of eyes, which was fun, sort of like a blind box, what you gonna get sort of feeling. And I received these beautiful gray-blue eyes. On to the main event. It was shipped quite delicately with recyclable trapped air packaging. Wow, she comes in this fancy fabric bag, almost feels like suede. Let's get it open. Look, there she is! The fact that she's in this fancy satin-lined bag reminds me of the wands you can buy at Harry Potter World. I did wash my hands before handling her. Out she comes! Okay, because she's been wrapped so carefully for transit, she looks like a mummy. Let's unwrap her. She's quite impressive, I have to say. And this might be a weird thing to notice, but the resin body is really soft, almost silky even. Later that night, I was watching TV and found myself stroking her legs like a total creep. Before we really get into it, here's the doll's specs, taken directly from the seller's website. Feel free to pause and read if you're interested. When there's a choice about the doll, I highlighted in blue what you're seeing here. Let's take some close-up looks at the sculpting and body mold. Her face is beautiful. She's a doll, so I suppose that's to be expected. I find her very sweet. Her head has a realistic range of motions, and the back of the head has this little inset metal tag that says Myou. How fancy. And get this, the head cap is magnetic. It pops off super easy, isn't that nice? I don't know if all BJDs are like this, but I really liked that feature. It gives easy access to the elastics holding the doll together, and the eyes, which I have already popped in place using that putty that came with her. One of the big questions when it comes to ball-jointed dolls is, how articulated is she, or how posable? Well, first let's look at the arms. Nice realistic range of motion on the shoulders. Wrist moves around nicely. The elbows have this double joint, meaning they can bend here and again here, giving a further range of motion than your average doll. This is a 3-part torso version of the doll. She also comes with a 2-part version. Let's test out the range of motion here. So that's about as far as she can bend forward, and I should mention that the hip area sort of clicks in place. There are notches on the inside that help anchor the pose, so it feels strong. She can bend back about as far, and of course there is some twisting side-to-side motion capable around the torso. Now the legs. They have a twistable joint high on the thighs here that allow the legs to do this. And they also have a nice range of motion on the ankles. The knee joint is the same idea as the elbows, just bigger. Now, like any doll that allows for a great range of motion, you do lose some realism. Doll artists are constantly battling the problem of how do you make a superposable doll, but keep the joints looking aesthetically presentable. Of course, once the doll is fully clothed, that helps mask any deformations that occur from the joints. Here's a couple more photos of her in different poses. And here she is compared to other dolls for a sense of scale. Before we go, I thought I'd show you a bit of the website. You can find it at myou-doll.com. The site displays Chinese by default, but there is an English option in the top right corner here. There are tons of gorgeous dolls to look through in all different proportions and sizes. I do hope they add some photos of their dolls' blank faces and bodies to the website to make it easier to visualize. As of right now, all the photos are fully made dolls, which are fun to look at, but make choosing a doll difficult. I just sort of had to imagine what the face might look like underneath the face-up, and imagine what the body probably looks like underneath the clothes. Of course, the shop is very new, like I said, so I hope they do add those kinds of photos soon. It would be very helpful to customizers, I would think. Since some of you might ask, here is how you order a doll. There you go, that's how you do it. Another big thank you to Myou-Dolls for sending me this lovely lady, and to Junkyspot.com. You can find links to both sellers in the description box of this video. Thanks for watching, and look forward to process videos for this doll on my channel in the future. Happy holidays! Stay artsy! Annyeong!
Has a little helper.
Santa's little helper. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, she's so sad.
Life is so miserable.
Alright, you can be free. There you go. I'm sorry.
Be free.